so glad you're here with me today. For those of you that are new here, my name is Bridget and I'm so happy that you're here. So today what my plan is, I'm going to start decorating for fall. I've drug my stuff up. Here it is. I've got some tubs and some bags and gourds, and I've got some more to bring upstairs, but I'm going to start with this. So I'm going to start in my living room, and I'm just going to work my way around the house and kind of take you with me in each room and show you what I'm going to do. And you know, when I looked back at my pictures last year, or my video from fall last year, and I thought, you know, I want to do something different. I don't want it to look the same as I did last year. But then I realized I have changed so much. I've moved so many things around and changed the things, you know, the way I have everything set up in the house. So it's kind of going to look a little bit different anyway. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and maybe it'll give you a little inspiration to dig yours out. I'll be doing my porches and my deck here probably in a couple of weeks, because pumpkins aren't even out yet. So as soon as those come out, I'll be ready to decorate outside. But I'm going to start today, and we'll start in my living room. So let's go get busy. Well, yeah, it seems like every time I decorate, I always seem to start right here at my fireplace. For some reason, this is just my starting point. And I think it's because it's kind of like in my living room especially, it's just like the focal point. That's the kind of the main thing that I kind of focus on. And I think people kind of focus on your fireplace mantle. So I usually start here. All right, so I think what I'm going to start with, I've got these two, they're just little short garlands. And I'm just going to run one this way and one the other way. And then we'll try to maybe put something in the center. And I have put a little nail right here in the center of my fireplace to attach this to, so it doesn't try to fall off all the time. Okay. And that way with this, it's not so thick. You know, some garlands you get have so much in them that it kind of hides what you have, you know, what they're setting in front of. So I think this is not going to try to hide my boxes and my little trunk over there. So let's see here what we might be able to put. Well, I decided to move the little box I had here because it was so low. And I kind of like this, I like this redware here with the orangey looking red and the yellow for fall. I think that looks pretty, so I'm going to leave that there. And I got one other thing I want to do in here. Instead of having both of these hanging wool for fall, I've got something else I'm going to hang here instead. Let me get that. I bought this at an estate sale, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And it's just one of those, it's got those pretty red corn cobs, dried corn cobs. I've always wanted one, and I didn't really know where to find the red corn cobs and to try to make one. So I found this one. So I think I'm going to hang this in here. Let's see, I don't know if I want to do this side or that side. Let's try this. All right, I think I like that there, but I think I'm going to use this one instead because it's a little more beige. This one's a little lighter, a little whiter, so I'm going to move it. And now what I want to do is, you know, I've used this faux garland here, and it looks like dried bittersweet. So I thought to make it look a little bit more real, I'm going to add some of the dried bittersweet that I got last year. Now what I did on my bittersweet, I went through here, and anywhere there was a green leaf that had dried from last year, they'll fall right off. If you just kind of pinch them, they'll fall right off. So I'm going to try to add some of this in here and make it look a little bit more real just by laying just a little bit in there. That's going to make it look not so fake. Let's see here. And then we've got one. I'm going to try to, this stuff is tricky to work with because it's got a mind of its own. Now I think between my corn that I added here and adding this little bit of bittersweet, I don't know, it just makes it look a little bit more like I've got dried stuff up here. So I think I'm going to leave that be. All right, now I want to work on this little table down here, and I'm not going to do much to this, just going to put a little something, maybe a little pumpkin of some kind. Now I've got a couple little things I think I'm going to use here. I've got a little dried sunflower pod. I love those. And I've got just this little bit, I think I bought that at Michael's years ago. It's just really dried looking wires and looks like little sticks with just a few little pumpkins on there. So I think I'm going to try and maybe use this. Just kind of tuck this in behind here. I'm losing some of my dried stuff. Now, put a little candle back over here. So now what I'm going to do is work on this little cabinet next to my fireplace, and I'm not going to add anything major in here. I just think I want to put something, maybe either a pumpkin sitting on top of this coverlet, because I think the dark orange is going to look really good with the blues and these crops. So I'm either going to, let me take this, I've got one of these hatchels in here with all my wool, and I'm either going to, let's try it without the basket. And I've picked out one of these faux pumpkins. I've had this pumpkin forever, it seems like. Bought this years ago at a primitive shop. So I'm either going to, let's see what that looks like. All right, I like that, but let me try it if I were to set it in just a little basket of some sort. Let me try that. Now I found one of my smaller rye baskets. Yeah, I think we definitely got to have the basket. All right, let me see if I like that. Well, I don't know that it doesn't look better by itself. Well, I've tried a few things, and I just like my basket in here. So I think I'm just going to try to put a few little faux pumpkins in here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave that. I think I like that. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Let's just put a few little pumpkins in there. I know it's probably a little dark over here where I've got all this light coming in the window. It's so hard to work around these windows with all the sunlight coming in. I love the light. It's so beautiful, but it sure makes it hard to do a video. But all I'm going to do over here, I'm going to add a little candle ring I've got that's just got little pumpkins on it. And I'm just going to add it to the top of this little candle light. I'll get it on there to stay. And then up here, I may put just a little bit of something in this basket that sits on top of this cupboard. So I'm going to go in there and see what I can find that might work there. So, got some more of this dried bittersweet. So I'm going to, since I've got dried up there, I'm going to try to incorporate a little bit more throughout the living room. So let's see what we can do with this. Again, it's hard to deal with, but I like that. I really think that's pretty. It's not too much. I don't know if I need some coming out of this side. We'll try it. If not, I think just that one piece looks pretty. Tried to move that camera up a little higher so that you can see it a little better. Again, it's dark in here. But I really like just that little bit of bittersweet in there. I think that looks really pretty. Now you can see it a little better. Okay, I'm working my way around this room, and I think what I'm going to do on this little table is I had this crock sitting here, and I did have some white flowers in it, and I had stone fruit in this bowl, so I've taken that out for fall, and I'm going to move it somewhere else in the house. But so I think what I'm going to do is just add some of these little Just going to add some of these little styrofoam pumpkins that I made that came from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to kind of try to arrange them in this little bowl. It may not hold all 5 of them. 4 of those may be enough. Let's see. There we go. I'm just going to add those in there. Well, they just don't want to stay. Stay, you little pumpkin. There you go. And then I'd already picked out a few stems that I want to put in here. And I used these in my bedroom last year, but this year I think with the color that these are, this real dark orangey red, since I changed my couch and my little love seat and my chair in here, when I recovered them in that buffalo check, kind of that dark red, it was kind of an orangey red, like a brick red. I think this is going to be pretty in here, so I'm going to start with adding these. And then I've got a couple of these. I think these are Chinese lanterns. I said it wrong last year. I called them Japanese lanterns. I think they're Chinese lanterns. There we go. I think that looks pretty. Let's bend this one up a little bit. All right. There we go. I think that color looks pretty with those little pumpkins. So I think that's all we'll do over here on this table. Okay. All right, now I'm down here on the other end of my living room. And this year, what's different, see, I have this new couch down here that I had recovered last year that's got this orangey red, and that's why I'm kind of trying to go with these, a little bit of this darker burnt orange in here. I think it'll be pretty against that. But what I want to do on this table, I usually keep my tricorn hat box here, but I think I'm going to move it somewhere else because I've got an idea of what I want to do down here this year. So let me get this out of the way. Now I have this thing, whatever you want to call it. It's pokey and sticky, and I've had it forever. I probably told you guys before, I paid $5 for this at a yard sale. I don't know how many years ago, and I have used it every year, and I love it just laying on a table with a pumpkin sitting inside it. Now, I usually put a real pumpkin. Of course, it's too early for a real pumpkin, so I think I'm just going to set this pumpkin in there. And let me see if I like that. Now, that's what it looks like. I'm going to give you a little closer view. Might do a little, turn this pumpkin a little bit more so you can see the stem. Just got my tobacco twist and my little clay pipes. And see, I think that color pumpkin just blends in good with my little love seat back there and my redware. So I'm going to leave that just like that. Well, I did one last little bit of tweaking. I moved a crock here, one of my ovoid crocks, sitting here on this table with the pumpkin. The demijohn bottle that I did have here, I moved it up here on top of this cabinet because it just seemed like that the that demijohn bottle, the green, I don't know, it just wasn't really looking good, I didn't think, with that pumpkin, with that color. Now back here, what I'm going to do, I've got another one of these little, whoop, I'm getting all tangled up in it. Another one of these little candle rings, and I'm just going to put it around this little light. There we go. And then I'm just going to get a little something to go up in here. So I'll be right back. Well, there we go. I think I'm just going to put that little fella. I bought that last year, and I love that. I forgot I had that. So I'm going to put that right there. I think that's all it needs over there. All right, I'm going to do just a little bit over here. I've had this wool hanging here for a while, And guys, I think I ended up swapping something out on my mantel, and I'll show you what I did there instead. But I'm going to take these little red corn cobs and hang them on this door instead. I just think that's going to look better. Okay. And then we'll find somewhere else to hang this. And I got this cute little brown pumpkin, because the stem just blows my mind on him. I love this stem. So I'm going to put that in this rye basket and just set it right here. And I think that looks good with the brown treenware and a little piece of redware and some candles. I kind of like the browns going on over here. Now the only thing I've got left I'm going to do in here, I'm just going to add a little something into this basket up here on the top. I'm not going to tuck anything in this cupboard. I'm just going to add some, it's just two little half garlands. They kind of just hang, and I'm not really sure what you call them, but I'm going to try to see if I can't get these up in here to look good. Yeah, I think that looks pretty up there. Just adds just enough over in here. I like that. So I think I'm all finished in here. I think I've got everything decorated as much as I'm going to in here. I didn't add a whole lot of things inside all of my cabinets because I already have so much in there and I didn't want it to get cluttered looking. I added things in some of my crocks and in my baskets, and I tried really hard to stay a little bit more simple, so I didn't get too carried away. But anyway, I'm going to clean up this mess. I've got stuff everywhere. I've got tubs everywhere. You guys can't see it because I got it hid from you right now. But after I get it all cleaned up, I'll take a little video of this room as a whole so you can see what it looks like all finished. y'all, I started to panic because I just got that couch covered and I'm like, is that a stain? But it's not, it's just a shadow. Thank goodness. Well, you might notice that I changed the stems. I took the sticks out and glued some real dried pumpkin stems on those. Well, y'all, I've made it now down here to my little den where we do all our TV watching, and when the grandkids come, this is where they always are. So now I'm going to work in here for a little bit, and I'm going to start in here in this window. I usually have a topiary in here during the spring and summer, and so I've taken that out of here, and I'm just going to try to add something kind of wispy looking to go in here. So I think I know what I'm going to use, but I will be right back. Now, this is a couple more of these things that they're not really a garland. I guess you could use them as a garland, but they're almost, they kind of, I don't know, they kind of fall over, so you kind of got to mesh them together to make them stand up. But I think, I just love the colors in these, so I think I'm going to try to see if I can't get these to work in here. Let me see. Good thing about this wire is it just kind of stays where you want it to stay. And it kind of hooks to each other, and I don't know why, but I just love this old wiry look with all these little brown sticky looking things going every which way. Let's see what that looks like from over here. But I kind of like the way those things are just kind of going a little wild. Now, I'm just going to do something simple in this little bowl right here. Not even going to put any kind of berries or anything in there. I'm just going to try putting these little pumpkins in here. Just have 3 little pumpkins in there. Let's see. Yep, I think I like that. That's simple enough, but I like it. And now I'm going to work on this wall behind me. Now this wall is the wall that's behind my couch. You can't see my couch because I couldn't get a good view of it. But this is what's behind my couch. And I've just got a sign that Greg made me. It says Grandma's house. And what better room to put it in here where the grandkids always are, watching TV and playing. And then I've got a couple of my sampler prints, my fall sampler prints up here that I'm using. And I'll give y'all a closer view where you can see a little better what I've done. I added a little bit of, added some, let me see if I can get out of the way. I added a couple of bittersweet candle rings on these sconces and a couple of primitive portraits. Because, you know, for me, it's hard on a wall behind the couch because it's a big space to fill. And you don't want it to get too cluttered looking, but you need something big enough where you, I don't know, it's just for me, that's always a little bit hard to do. So hopefully this looks okay. So here's the couch. Here's a closer view of what I used. I just used some bittersweet candle rings and a couple of primitive portraits to kind of try to fill that wall up. And then I've used a couple of my little sampler prints up here. A little bit of a glare coming in. And if you guys are interested, I'll put the link on the screen of how you can get to my Shopify store for anybody that might be interested in those fall sampler prints. Now, I believe what I'm going to do, I'm going to set little Miss Hetty. This is that sweet little pumpkin doll that Jody Parks made for me. And I'm just going to put her, make sure her little pumpkin's showing, right there in this little chair. I think she looks cute in front of that pillow. Now we'll work over here a little bit in this corner. And what I've been trying to do is I do each room, I've got all my stuff, all my Halloween and fall stuff. My kitchen looks like an absolute bomb blew up in it right now. So I'm just, as I do each room, I'm just going in there and gathering up a few things that I think will work in that room. So I'm just going in there and grabbing some stems and that I would put in crocks, and maybe a few of my little pumpkins I've painted, and I don't know, just a few things that I think will work in each room. And then that kind of makes it where I don't have so many decisions to make, because when I go in there in that kitchen and everything's in there, it gets overwhelming. You don't know what to pick. So if I've already kind of grabbed some things, I try to just pick from the pile that I drug to that room. So that's kind of what I've been doing in here too. So I'm going to put some stems in here. And what I'm going to use in this crock, I use these every year. I bought these at Hobby Lobby, and they're probably my favorites that I've ever used. And I've got a couple of bunches like this, and they still have them this year. I looked the other day when Mom and I were out, and they do still have these, but I love these. And so I'm going to use these. I know I'm going to use that, and it's just one big stem. So I'm going to put it in there. And the good thing, Hobby Lobby usually has all their fall stuff on sale during the season. They don't wait till it's almost over. They run it on sale the whole season. So I'm going to put this in here. And then I have these. My friend Melanie Jenkins gave me these. They're so pretty. And I don't know if they're blackberries. They're like, look like they're stemmed like from a blackberry bush that have kind of dried. And they are so pretty. And of course I got the black in here. Got a lot of black in the stem. So I think these will be pretty mixed in here with this. Because this year I decided to add a little bit of a rust color in here. Last year I kind of went with neutrals, that big white gourd that I had, but this year I think I'm going to try to stick more with the darker rust and the colors that I like for fall. Let's see if we can, what's this going to look like if we mix some of these blackberries in here. I think that looks pretty. I like the blackberries mixed in there. Let's see. I like that. Now I think I'm going to put something else on this table. I'm wiping away the dust, guys. I just dusted, but it seems like, oh my goodness, it don't take long for black to get dust on it. So let me see what I can find to go right there. Well, I think what I'm going to use, I've got this wooden bowl. It's a bowl that I tried to age myself and make it look older. It kind of sits on a little stand, and it's so pretty inside. I just kind of like the way it looks. But what I think I'm going to put in it, Mom and I were out shopping the other day, and we have this store here. I don't know if you guys have one or not, but it's called Bealls, Bealls. And it used to be called Burke Outlet, but now it's called, it was bought out and it's called Bealls. So we were in there, and they had this big bag full of, it's not potpourri, but it's got apple slices, orange slices, some leaves. It was so pretty. I think it was $9.99. So I'm going to take this out of the bag and put it in this bowl. And I imagine it probably does smell good. And then what I thought I would do, I'll use it through fall because it's got the fall colors. But then when Christmas gets here, I may try to string those apple slices and some of those things so I can make a little garland out of them. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. Let me show y'all a closer view. That's beautiful. Look how pretty that is. All those orange slices and apple slices. And then even got some green apple slices. That is so pretty. I never dreamed I'd love it that much. And it's got pine cones in there. Oh my goodness. And it smells. Oh yeah, I can smell it. That smells so good. And I think that looks pretty right there with those little blackberries and the stems I'm using. Well, I'm tickled with that. I really like that. That looks pretty. And then you can see it's got some of these little orange leaves in it. That's pretty. Well, now over here on this hutch table, I've got all this wool in this basket, which I love it. I usually never change this because I really like this wool in this rye basket sitting here. But I think what I'll do is maybe add a few of my painted pumpkins in here to kind of make this look a little bit more like fall. So I brought a few in here. Let's see, and I've got 3 different colors to work with because I kind of got this color in here and trying to bring a little bit of these orange and rust colors. So let's see, we can kind of mash them down in that wool. And I love these when you paint these and use your own stems. When you save your stems every year, after you use your pumpkins, break off your stems and save them and just let them dry. I just leave them outside laying on the porch. And it doesn't take them that long. And then the next year you'll have them, they'll be all dry, and you can buy these faux plastic pumpkins, paint them yourself, and then hot glue a pretty stem on the top of them. And it makes them look so real, but I think they're so pretty with the real stems. But let's see. Yeah, I like that. Maybe try to mash it down in the basket a little more. I think that looks pretty. Well, now I'm going to work on this little shelf. I've already added one of my little sampler prints. It just says Harvest Moon. And now I have to add these. These are my little, I know I've showed you guys these before. These are my little, I call them my little samplers, but these are the little stitcheries that my grandkids did, and they started with my son, Bubba. I call him Bubba. His name's Joey. This Bubba did this when he was, oh, he was little. He was maybe, I don't have my glasses on. Let's see, 5 years old when he made this. So I wouldn't take anything for these little, they stitched these. Bonnie made one and Cooper made one. And when Cruz gets old enough, he'll be 4 here just in a couple of weeks. It won't be long. We need about another year and I'll be able to get one from him. But I'm going to put those up there. And let's see. Uh-oh. These little books over. I've got this cutest little box that I got at that same estate sale that I was telling you guys about, where I had bought those hanging corn things. Somebody has made it. It's not old. Somebody has covered this box. And it is, let me show you. Somebody covered this little box and put some old newspaper down inside it. But I'm going to try to put that up here. This little shelf is just a little hodgepodge of little primitives. You can see I've got just my sampler prints and then my little, what the kids have made me. And there's that pretty little box. Oh, and I've got one other thing that I want to add. Up here with my little keepsakes. Mama made that cute little pumpkin on wheels for me last year. He's so cute. So I'm going to put him right up there with all my little samplers from my kids and grandkids. I just finished up in here in my little den. Like I said, this is where we spend all our time. And now I'm excited because I have a new candle to light. And guys, I want to tell you, this was a sweet gift from Shelly Crosby. And we met on Instagram. We've just kind of been chatting a little bit back and forth. And her name on Instagram is White Pine Cottage. And oh my goodness, y'all, she has the most beautiful house. And she decorates with the same style that we decorate. But I don't know what it is about her style. I just love it. It's a little more, I don't want to say light, the colors, but I don't know. She just got her own little style, and it is really beautiful. So you guys check her Instagram out. I know you'll love her. But Shelly, thank you so much for this candle, and I got to tell you about it. Her daughter has a candle company called Nova Wick and Company, and she hand makes all of her own candles. And the one that Shelly sent me is called, she said it's a new scent they have out this fall. It's called Maple Pumpkin, and y'all, oh, I burnt this the other day. It smells so good. I cannot wait to get my little den all cozy. I've got it all decorated for fall, and you know how it gets cozy when you add your fall decorations in. Now I get this candle burning. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. So I'm fixing to light this thing and get this going. And she also gave me some room spray called Pumpkin Medley, and oh goodness, y'all, it smells so good. Do you ever have something that smells so good that you hate to burn it or you hate to spray it because you don't want it to, you don't want to use it? It smells too good. I'm going to put that information on the screen for Shelly's daughter's candle company, and you guys check her out if you're if you're looking for a good smelling fall candle. Thank you again so much, Shelly, and thank you so much to your sweet daughter, Lindsay, for making me this candle. I really do appreciate it. So now I'm going to go light it. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. I got a little bit of decorating done. I got my living room done and my den done. Now I just like my kitchen and my bedrooms. So I'll do that a little bit later, and then I'll make sure and get that on real soon, because I know everybody's getting all enthused and ready to do fall decorating. But I thank you so much for joining me. And if you're enjoying my videos, I would sure appreciate it if you would hit that like button and subscribe and even share my videos. That really does help my channel. And I appreciate all of you so much, and all of your sweet comments that you leave me every week. And for those of you that have sent me the kindest notes and just, it really encourages me. And you know, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.